So whenever you have a problem, the trouble, that the thing called confounded, I am confounded because I met somebody and I can't understand them. Here's why I can't understand them. Because I look at them in the way I feel about them. Overall feeling tone. I love you. And that's it. That's the overall thing. Because she takes me horseback riding, she cooks well, she makes bacon and eggs in the morning, and she always whispers sweet nothings into my ear, which I need. Now, why I need them, how I need them, I'm not going to discuss. But it's those holistic elements, and I have a general impression called love. The impression called love is not analytical. It doesn't say, what does Paulette do that Rosalie doesn't do? Well, I'm in love with Rosalie. Paulette doesn't rate. See, I have a general impression, and I ride the general impression. That makes us prejudiced. But if we sit down and ride the specific impression, Rosalie is a good cook. She's a stunt pilot. She knows all her aircraft structures. Let's assume I need these things. She knows sailing. She knows all those things. But the girl of my dreams has long triangular eyebrows, which they shoved in my head a long time ago, before I met Rosalie or Paulette. Also has eyelashes that turn up heavy on this end, see? That's the pattern shoved in my head prior to somebody else, see? And the nose structure is a strong V at the base. You know what I mean? And the lips are high-peaked in the center, okay? And Jennifer has those characteristics. And you have the characteristics which I should love, but that's what they gave me. You have the behavioral characteristic. You know what I mean? And this is called the driving force. Okay? Now, whatever the hair pattern has been, all of those things become the major driving force. So I look at you, Jennifer, but I love Pauline, and I'm troubled. Troubled very much, because I sit down and try to figure it out. But all I get is a feeling tone. Do you know what I mean by that? You look at a person, you like them, or you don't like them, whatever it is. No matter what they do, they backflip, read the science journal, you still don't like them. You should like them, because we rely on feeling tone. And that's one thing you can't shove aside. Mechanically, you can shove it aside, but the brain says, boy, are you full of shit. Because the brain has been pre-programmed prior to what you call intelligent selective detail. The only time we use intelligent selective detail is when we manufacture paper. We manufacture paper. And the people that wipe their ass in our community send it back saying, it always rips in the center every time I wipe my ass. So now you're going for texture and the nature of strong papers. You design machines that pull on the right and left, under impact, moist, etc. See? And you work on the logical thing, because you're not in love with that. That brings you the buck. You turn it out logical, and you get a buck. Or else, you hire an agency that says, don't worry about your paper, don't do anything to it, we'll verbalize it. And they say, the paper you've been looking for, have you ever had this happen? And that, yeah, well, this doesn't do that. It shows a monkey jumping on it. Now, then you buy that, because they know what makes you make a decision. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's fabricated. All right, now, this bit here, when I meet a person that looks like this, now watch this. This is a slightly less exaggerated angle to the nostrils than that, and just strange lips that are only peaked in the center. You know what I mean? Not lead to a peak. These are variations on a theme, okay? I meet Louise, and I like her a little, but her behavior now seems to go in this direction. She talks of photography. She talks of light and shade. She does oil paintings. That interests me. And the brain does something strange. It lowers the height of the required peak of the eyebrows. If anybody doesn't understand what that means, it's important that you do. The brain transfers the old image, which is solid, and becomes a little foggier, and this becomes dominant as an image. Pretty soon, the ideal girl always smiled like this. This is background propaganda. I always saw the white teeth when I smiled. Marion smiles off to one side, a high right lip smile, you know what I mean? Which destroys the image. Although it's been being constructed in the head, and that collapses the image again. She comes up to me one day with that smile and shows me a cutaway view of a Boeing. And that smile alters the major image, the right side smile and heavy reinforcement. So over a period of time, she looks like my ideal girl. And that takes time, because image by image, bit by bit, the features begin to represent my needs, fulfill the needs. And this image disappears, and this becomes the key image. Now, one more bit. We make love, and it's parallel to my best experience. Parallel. Right. And now I'm in a high propaganda state, ready to jump and say, I need you, I love you, you're it. About to jump, and Joe comes with his lip out and says, the Mack truck wiped her out. That's the next image I carry in my head, a one-side smile. Then I go off somewhere to meet somebody with a one-side smile, and they mention a cutaway view of the Bowie. And even though her eyebrows are a long way, they become slightly modified in the brain undoes this eyebrow and transfers it until the image is gradually transferred to the other person. Now, that's done so slow, we call it a quarter tone picture. It's done in very low key. You understand that, Joe? And as time goes on, the key is picked up. And if a person comes at me with hard key features and mentions in the first bit of language, what's the score in a baseball game, even though she looks like the ideal Jennifer, which I'm not interested in baseball games, or football, or anything else. So if he comes over with the ideal image and says, what's the score? There's a scar put on the image. Then she says, I'm late for church. Another scar put on the image. The peaked lips become scar because they're signals. Do you know what I mean? Then she says, I got to get rid of niggers, Chinese, Jews, and Swedes. And another scar occurs. And then she says, the trouble in the country is too many foreigners. And what happens is, that image, I'm doing it fast, becomes the category of the image is destroyed. Now let me do that in areas you're familiar with.